Welcome. If you're watching us live today in the Webex Events app, you can join the conversation and network with other attendees using the chat tab to your right. You can take our session poll and ask or upvote questions in the Slido Q&A and polls tab, which is also to the right. We'll answer your questions there. And at the end of this presentation, we'll launch our session survey where you will see a level up game code after submitting your feedback. In today's session, we will look at how organizations can harness the power of a cloud communications or CPaaS platform to deliver great customer experiences. I'm Sudarshan Dharmapuri, VP of Products for Webex CPaaS Solutions. I'm very excited to be joined by Robin Garris, CEO and Principal Analyst at Metrigy. We will begin by having Robin share her insights on the CPaaS market, particularly on adoption trends, benefits, and implementation approaches. Over to you, Robin.
Great. Thanks, Sudarshan, and welcome everybody. I am delighted to be talking about this topic today because it is such a big topic in any CX strategy these days. So I want to start by just from a very high level. When we look at business priorities, we've asked this question for the last 3 years as to what companies' top business priority actually is. And as you can see from the chart here, the top business priority is, in fact, customer satisfaction 3 years in a row. I just kind of want to start here to say, look, customer service, customer satisfaction is the top business priority. It's something we've got to focus on. So how do we do that? How do you make sure that CSAT is better? So one way to do that is to look at CPaaS. So one of the big questions that we get a lot is, well, what is CPaaS? How does it differ from all these other technologies that are out there? So let me just, first of all, level set what we're talking about here when it comes to CPaaS. Obviously, it stands for Communications Platform as a Service, and it allows companies to customize their CX features by adding in things like real-time, cloud-based communications capabilities, things like click to call or live chat, video, even messaging. And you can take that and add it to existing business applications, websites, or communications platforms. You can use things like APIs and SDKs to develop all these different applications. You can customize them. You can integrate them into an existing application that you might have, or even a business process. And lastly, you can use internal third-party or CPaaS employed developers to create and customize these applications, but you don't always have to even use developers, so I'll explain that in just a minute. I also want to point out that it's becoming a lot more popular as companies are seeing the value that it brings. So right now we see about 68% of companies using or planning to use CPaaS by the end of 2022. So that's a pretty big number. The highest adoption is actually in Asia Pac right now, followed by North America. And you can see here that the success that it's driving for companies is really, really measurable and really good. You can see revenues going up by about 14.5%. Costs are decreasing. So those are your operational costs that you might find in places like the contact center, decreasing by 12.5% roughly. You've got customer ratings improving by 15%. That's vital to everything when it comes to referrals and revenue and reputation. And agent efficiency also going up quite a bit because you can automate functions. So agent efficiency goes up by about just under 16%. Okay, so many people hear CPaaS and they think, oh, I need an army of developers to use the technology, and that's just not the case. As you look at this pyramid here, it really does kind of show you what we see in the market today. So no code options are at the largest part of the pyramid. That's going to handle the biggest chunk of applications. Then you've got low code, which handles a little bit fewer, but a little bit more customized. And then you've got full code, and that is where you can do all sorts of customization. It might serve the smallest number of needs, but the depth that you can go into and the customization you can do is the greatest. So this pyramid is just kind of meant to show the number of needs, the number of applications that you might have in your organization that can be achieved by using no code, low code, or full code. So let's look at these definitions. First of all, with no code, Most of our needs, like I mentioned, are met here. These are more your out-of-the-box applications that CPaaS providers can offer to you. Lines of businesses can implement these applications. You don't need a development team. You don't even need IT in many cases. Lines of business can just do this. They're very plug and play. There's no servers required. They are very easy, sort of drag and drop tools. You can provide some customization, like maybe adding your company logo, something like that, but truly no development skills are needed here. And we can solve a lot of customer needs with with no code applications. Then we've got low code, and now you've got a little bit of coding required to complete the application development here. Oftentimes we see lines of businesses being able to do the low code apps as well. There's not any complex programming languages that you need. Maybe you could have some semi-skilled developers using some basic logic here, some visual interfaces, and definitely still those drag and drop, tools being used here as well. And then we go into full code. Now, this is where you have a flexible platform. It allows for various programming languages that you may be using in other parts of the company. It's used primarily in very complex, customized applications, something that you want to do that's very different than what anybody else is doing. And you're also going to be looking at skilled developers to use the platform to create and test the applications as well. So in looking at all of this, I do often get asked too, like, why do I need CPaaS when I already have CCaaS? And I just want to say that CPaaS does give you a lot of customization and flexibility in that initial development, but also very slick automation and proactive communications to customers moving forward. So it's not just the development, it's how you maintain and optimize that development and how you really can make sure it's a very fit for your purpose. Whereas in CCaaS, that may not always be the case. You can't always customize as much as you can in CCaaS, or I'm sorry, in CPaaS. So to make these definitions more tangible for you, let's take a look at some of the applications companies are using for CPaaS today. So this chart shows you the frequencies. You've got SMS messages, as you can see, as a top application being used right now in CPaaS, but it changes back and forth here and there. A lot of companies also just use CPaaS for your basic telecom minutes and voice calls. Social messages for social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook or other social platforms. Analytics even, you want to make sure you're knowing whether something is working that you're doing in CPaaS. So let's look at the analytics to see if it's deriving the results we want it to drive. You've got web chat. That's one that kind of goes up, and you see a lot of companies using web chat with CPaaS as well. All the application integration and APIs, that's growing. Workflows are growing, and then obviously click to call and virtual assistants are big ones as well. In our CX MetroCast study, which is a global study with about 1,800, a little over 1,800 participants, 67%, so about 2/3 of companies found a 28.5% revenue increase when they used CPaaS for some of these particular applications. So let me give you some examples. You could have voice and video messages to remind customers about appointments. You can use SMS or business messaging services, so things like Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, Google Chat, to do things like, hey, let's offer a seasonal discount, or let's remind somebody to reorder a product they might be using monthly, like vitamins or something like that. Even use it for outreach to loyalty members to say, hey, we've got a new special for you because you're such a loyal customer. Click to call and web chat you can use to get very quick answers or advice to your customers. Also provide them with recommendations on complementary products to what they're buying today. So this is really important to kind of integrate that in with maybe some AI, some predictive analytics even. Workflows, they'll guide agents on upsell and cross-sell, for example. So this is really important. Or even when they need to read a regulatory statement, so you can do a lot of workflows there. And then virtual assistants can guide customers on products or services in a self-service channel, for example. So a lot of different ways you can use CPaaS. So just to underscore what I was saying before, it's very flexible, it's very customizable. So as companies evaluate their budgets and their providers, they also do consider whether to buy CPaaS from the same provider that they're already using for unified communications and contact center. So right now we see about 45.5% of companies doing that. They're using the same provider, for for CPaaS, the same percentage, just coincidentally, also see value in doing so. Now, about 52% are keeping CPaaS separate from their UC and contact center provider. That does not mean that they're not integrating it. They are definitely integrating. If you want to use CPaaS and use it successfully, you want to make sure it's integrated, even if it's a different provider. Now, we can look at why here on the chart to the right. Which basically answers the question as to why you see value in keeping CPaaS, your CPaaS provider, separate from your UC and contact center provider. A lot of that, of course, is about just diversity, diversity in supply chain, network reliability, flexibility, and so on. What I really want to point out is the diversity in the technology applications and the ability to integrate your customer interaction channels. So I think as so many channels have proliferated over time, we're seeing that not all are part of the overall UC CPaaS story. UC is still very focused on your internal messaging and telephony, and sure, that can be helpful when you have customer interactions where you want to bring an expert in, but otherwise, when CPaaS is part of the equation, automation is playing a big role here. So when you think about CPaaS, think automation. So wrapping up, as companies look to expand CPaaS and devote more budgets to the technology, it really does come as no surprise that we're seeing them evaluating the field of providers. As you can see here from the chart on the left, only 26% of companies have no plans at all to replace their provider. The rest either already have in 2021, plan to this year or next year, are evaluating or are unsure. So there's several reasons for replacing a provider, as you can see from the chart here. Cost and value are typically always at the top of the list with any CX area that we measure, but a few that I've circled here kind of stand out that I see as important with CPaaS and also areas that I think are going to grow over time, and that is integrations aren't extensive enough. So as we use CPaaS more, we want to make sure it integrates with everything. Over time, that's going to continue to become more and more important. And then also that certain companies' product roadmaps are not aligned with their strategy. So things like, for example, AI, analytics, very, very important when you start looking at CPaaS. Integrations are very important with CPaaS. Flexibility, very important with CPaaS. So you want to make sure your provider is doing that. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Sudarshan.
Thanks for that, Robin. Some really great insights in there. Now we're going to change gears and look at how enterprises are achieving smarter customer experience through Webex Connect. Firstly, I would like to highlight what a great year it has been. Last year at WebexOne, we introduced our CPaaS platform, Webex Connect. And this year, we achieved some significant milestones. For us, CPaaS is about empowering organizations to deliver outcomes for their customers, not just deliver communications to their customers. This year, we are happy to announce that we reached a new milestone of powering over 1 billion such outcomes for end customers and processed over 2 billion messages in a single month. In addition, we've made Webex Connect available through Cisco routes to market, making it easy for Cisco customers to start using the platform. And we introduced support for digital channels in our Webex Contact Center product. Now let's look at a use case from the telecom sector. The example involves proactively engaging prepaid customers to remind them to top up their accounts at the right time to avoid service disruption. The use case is all about providing customers a convenient way to add credit to their account and reduce customer churn. Let's look under the hood to understand the details of orchestrating such a journey. The journey begins by consuming a raw event from the telco's prepaid billing system. Now, before the customer is contacted, the flow validates the customer's contact details and account information by tapping into the CRM system, for which the platform provides an out-of-the-box integration capability. And it also determines the amount that the customer needs to add to their account. To ensure the best possible experience, the customer's time zone, consent, and channel preference are checked, ensuring the customer is engaged at an appropriate time. In addition, integration with the payment service provider is leveraged to check how much tax needs to be added to the total amount. The first part of the flow that we are seeing so far results in the message being constructed, and the customer being contacted with that proactive message. When the customer replies yes, the customer's account is revalidated to check if there have been any credits to the account. This additional step ensures that the customer only pays what they really need to pay. If there has been a change, the updated amount is communicated to the customer. With the customer agreeing to top up their account, the payment is processed using the integration with the payment service provider, and the customer is notified that the payment has been successfully processed and that credit has been added to their account. So what we saw was just one example of a customer journey. Consumer businesses will have hundreds of such journeys across different product and business units, geographies where they operate, business functions, and different stages of the customer lifecycle. Implementing each journey as a separate application causes fragmentation, duplication, cost overruns, delays, DevOps overheads, and maintenance challenges. But there is a better way. Webex Connect provides a single centralized platform for automating and orchestrating customer journeys end-to-end. Webex Connect provides a composable approach. In addition to all of the rich APIs and SDKs, Webex Connect provides a rich palette of pre-built modules that can be dragged and dropped onto the canvas. Customer journeys can be built and launched in hours instead of weeks or months. Next, I'm going to go into the tools and capabilities that Webex Connect offers across 6 pillars of value that help our customers deliver smart, seamless customer interactions. These pillars together are what make our CPaaS platform enterprise grade. So I'm going to go into 3 of the pillars, looking at the value they provide, and also touch upon some recent updates that we've delivered as part of our roadmap. The first pillar is about communication channels. With Webex Connect, you can future-proof your customer communications and insulate your business systems from the underlying complexities of integrating with multiple channels. For example, we added Instagram as a native channel. Instagram can be used to deliver customer service and commerce experiences and is perfect for retailers and other socially active enterprises. We've also worked with our customers to launch Google Business Messages, which allows consumers to initiate a messaging conversation with a business directly from Google Search and Google Maps, whether it is to have their questions answered or have their problems resolved. The next pillar is about integrations. The existing enterprise business systems were designed for specific purposes, such as transaction processing, and therefore they're not really designed to manage complex customer journeys at scale. Webex Connect protects your existing investments by enabling customer interactions to be orchestrated with your existing business systems to enable journey automation. So you don't really have to rip and replace your existing systems to adopt new and emerging digital channels. The platform includes out-of-the-box integrations with a wide variety of business systems, including CRM, contact center, commerce, and marketing applications. Also makes it easy to create your own custom integrations with your existing homegrown or legacy systems. Now, with the launch of Securio integration, we have added payment processing to power commerce transactions on any messaging channel. With this integration, Webex Connect now enables support for more than 20 payment service providers covering over 180 countries. In addition, we have upcoming integrations with Epic and Cerner, enabling healthcare organizations to automate patient interactions for a range of use cases, whether it is appointment reminders, prescription refill notifications, or digital delivery of test results. Webex Connect centralizes customer journey insight and control, providing a single view of all customer interactions across channels. It empowers operations teams and business analysts to manage and monitor the entire journey, track performance, and make changes based on actionable insights. With rich reporting, dashboards, and descriptive analytics, business users can evaluate customer journey data and assess performance down to the service, channel, or interaction level, allowing for highly targeted optimizations. With the addition of our new contact policy application, You can centrally capture, manage, enforce, and renew customer consent and preferences, as well as your organization's contact policies, such as your contact frequency limits for different communication types. In summary, if you're looking to accelerate speed to market for new customer interaction applications, automate end-to-end customer journeys across channels, and empower your teams to deliver the best customer experience, Webex Connect is the solution for you. Thank you for joining us for this session. If you would like to take Webex Connect for a spin, level up your CPaaS knowledge, or book a demo, please visit webex.com/products/CPaaS. A quick reminder, if you're here with us live, please take a moment to complete our session survey. This is only available for the next few minutes and is a great way to earn points for our level up game. The code will be revealed after you take the survey. Thank you.